Hey, thanks for tuning into EskimoTV. I'm your host, Jason Escamilla.
And I'm your co-host, Chelsea McDonald.
And today, I'm very excited to talk about The Justice League, a film directed by Zack Snyder. And while it had some issues, this film was very fun to watch.
This review is going to be spoiler-free up until the very end after we give the grade.
If you hate spoilers, you can definitely stop the video after we give our grade. So let's go ahead and get into this movie. My wife stars in this movie. Gal Gadot stars alongside Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill, Jason Momoa,
Future baby daddy,
Ezra Miller, and Ray Fisher. In this film, Bruce Wayne starts the Justice League in order to stop Steppenwolf, our evil villain in this movie, from getting the 3 mother boxes that have the power to cause a catastrophic event on planet Earth. Once the Justice League comes together and they are formed, this was one of the most entertaining DCEU films that I have seen.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think this is a huge step for the DC world because, you know, you had movies like The Suicide Squad, you had Man of Steel, you had Batman vs. Superman that didn't hit it off so great with the critics.
Definitely.
And then you have movies like Wonder Woman and now The Justice League, and I think it's putting DC movies on a trajectory that's just going to keep growing and growing and getting better and better as we see more movies come out.
In comparing it to the other film that did well this year, Wonder Woman, I would say the difference as far as feelings go between the two is that Wonder Woman was a great film consistently. I would give it, its excitement goes, a 6 or 7. It was up there the whole time it had my attention. This film had an issue with the first hour of the movie where they're setting up the Justice League. I would put my excitement level at a 3 or 4, but after that first hour, the excitement level for this movie rises up to a high 9 or 10, and this film is so much fun to watch. And that's how I would compare the differences between this and the Wonder Woman film. Now, one of the things that I really liked about this film were the characters. I love seeing the Flash, who doesn't even have his own film yet. I love the actor choice for the Flash. He was just so funny.
Oh wow, they really just vanish. Huh? Oh. That's rude.
And very human. I like, there's a scene where he's kind of nervous to go into battle.
Never done battle. I've just pushed some people and run away.
And I really enjoyed watching him on screen. Gal Gadot always is a joy to watch. And just the group dynamics in general, they looked really well put together. And I really liked all of the characters that we had.
I really like the costuming in this movie. Like,
yes.
if you know from the comic books, the character costumes, they're supposed to be very bright and vibrant. But in the real world, I don't think that would have translated so well. I mean, you would have seen a lot of spandex, a lot of ridiculous colors. But I'm really glad that they were able to actually take these costumes, tone them down to a little darker color, which makes them more modern.
I love the costumes. I also love the visuals in this movie. This movie is beautiful and colorful and stunning. I love the action sequences in this movie. There's a lot of scenes where there's a lot of fast-paced action, and then amidst all that, there's slow-mo scenes where you see Wonder Woman dodging bullets like she usually does. You see the Flash, who looks awesome in slow motion because he's a very fast character. When he's in slow-mo, it's so cool to see how he moves and the electricity that's all around him. I love seeing the characters help one another in slow-mo. Now, while this film had many great things about it, there were some major issues with the movie. As we said earlier, the first part of the movie, the first hour is very hard to get through. I looked at my watch and it took about an hour before our team came together, and this movie being the Justice League, I would have liked to see that faster. Now, the reason why it takes a long time for them to come together is there's a lot of character development, which I like that they did. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to be so picky. You have these films come out where there's no character development and then people complain how there's no character development. I'm glad that they developed the characters. I just think that they should have cut off just a couple of scenes that were really long and took a long time for us to get to the latter part of the film.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I really had a problem with was how underdeveloped the villain in this movie was. Like, all we know about this character is that he was exiled and he came back and he wants to destroy the world. But other than that, I have no idea what his purpose is for being in this movie. I mean, I get that they had to have a reason for the team needing to come together, and it needed to be something pretty major.
Yeah, they didn't give us any really big details about the villain, and it didn't have to be a lot. If you take a movie like Thor that recently came out, I liked the villain Hela in that movie, and all they did was give her a reason to want to fight these characters. You know, the father just kind of rejects her and forgets about her. And that was a good enough reason for me to like Hela. I knew why she was fighting. And with this character, there wasn't a really well-developed reason for us to really believe this villain. There are 2 ending scenes after the credits, and so if you want to stick around for those, make sure that you stay after the movie for 2 really fun special scenes. What are you going to grade this movie?
I'm going to give this movie an A-.
I'm going to give this movie, because the beginning was very long, I'm going to give this movie a B+. And that will average out for the Justice League to a solid A. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to get to the spoiler part of our review. And so if you want to go into this movie without anything spoiled, go ahead and stop this video, because we're going to have a fun time discussing a very big spoiler. Drum roll, please. Superman is back! Oh! Superman is back, and they did it well. They did it justice.
Yes!
I love the fact that Superman is back. I was thinking when I first went into this movie, I hope Superman is back. The Justice League cannot be the Justice League without Superman.
Yeah, from the posters I saw, I didn't see him at all in any of the posters, and I was really confused and borderline mad, because it's like, you can't have the Justice League without Superman, because in the comics, Superman and Batman form the Justice League. So I was really confused as how I was like, why didn't they put him in there? And then I saw him in there and I was like, oh, okay, that's better. I feel fine now.
Yes, and the way that they bring Superman back in is phenomenal. I love the way they do it. Bruce Wayne uses a mother box, one of the mother boxes that the evil villain in this movie is trying to go after, and harnesses the energy from it in order to bring Superman back to life. Now, what unfolds after is crazy.
It's nuts.
There is a huge action sequence between Superman and our main heroes, because Superman can't remember who he is. And so that action sequence is awesome to watch. It's fun, it's suspenseful. What are they gonna do? Is Superman gonna die again, or is our heroes gonna be overtaken? What is going to happen?
Yeah. One of the things I really liked that they did was there was one scene where Batman was like bringing the big guns.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be like a big weapon. I was like, what could they bring to stop Superman?
And then Lois Lane steps out of the car. Now, at the very beginning of the movie, she's there. She's in the very first couple scenes. And I was like, why is Lois Lane here? Superman's not in this movie. He wasn't on the posters. He's not going to be in this movie, which I'm sad about.
Yeah.
But then they brought back Superman, and they brought back Lois Lane, and I was like, oh my gosh, I understand it now. This is the greatest day of my life.
Yes, she was the big weapon to get Superman to remember who he is. And I love that they did that, because there's obviously some history with Lois Lane, and definitely went well with the audience. When Superman showed up, the whole audience was clapping.
Yes. Every time he came on screen, everyone was like, yeah,
yes.
Superman!
And so Lois Lane causes Superman to remember who he is, and they go off, and she convinces him to come back and unite with the Justice League. And I was very satisfied with the way that this all happened. I think that they handled it very well. One thing that I would have liked to see, that I would have liked to have seen, is Superman show some remorse for the trouble he causes the heroes initially. And I also would have liked to see him show Batman some gratitude for him attempting to bring Superman back to life. I think those would have just displayed some qualities that we value in a superhero, because he doesn't really show that. He just kind of gets his memories back and then decides, all right, I'm going to go back with the team. But other than that, I thought that they handled this situation very well.
Yeah, definitely.
And so, anyways, that was the big spoiler that we wanted to talk about. We really had a fun time with this movie, and so Once you get to watch it, let us know in the comments what did you think and what is your favorite DCEU film? Let us know, and as always, if you enjoyed this video, like the video and subscribe to EskimoTV, where you can definitely look forward to more icy and chilly EskimoTV reviews. Booyah!